Hello everybody, Qualia Quartz here with another album banner video. I got a whole new batch of albums, most of them very highly requested. And I also got a request to kind of linger on an album before I revealed what it was, just to kind of make it like a guessing game, and I like that idea. So here we have the first banner. If you can guess what it is, it's probably pretty obvious. This is Red Hot Chili Peppers' Californication. Take a red banner, give it a brown border, add a white triangle to both of the top sides, give it a yellow gradient from the top, give it a green center stripe, and then make the entire top half blue. Up next, this is probably the easiest one to guess. If you know it, you know it. It's Selected Ambient Works 85 to 92 by Aphex Twin. Take a black banner, give it a white triangle on the top right side, this white triangle on the bottom, give it a black X, a white squiggly border. That was weird. Give it a white squiggly border and then a black border. Up next, we have dun dun dun, it's Pinkerton by Weezer. Take a black banner, give it a yellow squiggly border, a black triangle on the top right side, a yellow triangle on the bottom, a yellow bar on the bottom, a black gradient from the top, and then yellow spikes on the bottom. Up next, I'm a really big fan of this one. I think you can tell by the multiple covers. This is Plastic Beach by Gorillaz. And I have the daylight, the sunset, and the nighttime version. They're all just color swaps of each other. They all have the same steps in different colors. Take a banner of the given color, give it a green block on the top, either a red X or a brown X for the nighttime, a red cross or a brown cross for the nighttime, light gray or normal gray spikes, a squiggly border matching the color of the background, and make the entire bottom half either light blue or cyan. And there you go, that's a threefer. You got 3 plastic beaches for 1. Up next, this one came out pretty good, I think. I really like the way that this one looks. We got Kids See Ghosts. Took a light blue banner, give it a thing pattern in white, a white globe pattern, make the entire top half yellow, a magenta cross, blue spikes on the bottom, and then a red gradient from the top. Any album covers that use gradients always come out looking really cool, so I'm really satisfied with that one. Up next, this one is pretty darn recognizable. We got Abbey Road by the Beatles. Take a gray banner, give it white stripes, make the entire top half green, give it a light blue triangle on top, and then add this gray bar in the middle. Now, because of the way that this is layered, like I really want to use these white stripes for the crosswalk, obviously. It's really difficult to try to add in the actual Beatles to the cover. So if anyone can think of a way and have it actually end up looking good, then let me know in the comments if you can figure something out. We got a similar situation to Spiderland here. Up next, this one has been requested every single time on every single video. So here it is. We got Hawaii Part 2 by one of the Tally Hall members. I don't remember the name. This is actually the first one I've done that I haven't actually listened to until I made it. So I'll listen to it now, but this one was a new one for me. So hooray, y'all got me listening to something new. Take a gray banner, give it a white creeper face, make the entire bottom half black, add a triangle to the bottom left side, give it a gray gradient from the bottom, add a black bar to the left, and then border it with white. Up next, look at what we got here. It is Deathconsciousness by Have a Nice Life. Not sure why it's raining anime girl heads, but we take a black banner, make the entire bottom half yellow, give it a brown triangle on the bottom left side, give it a black block on top, a green block on the bottom, a white block on this bottom left corner, and then a black gradient from the bottom. Up next, one of my favorite designs as of recent, just because of how recognizable it is if you know it, we got Pure Guava by Ween, in which we take a red banner, give it a yellow circle, make the left side yellow, give it a red squiggly border, a yellow gradient from the top, light blue spikes on the bottom, and then a light blue snout pattern in the middle. Up next, this one is one that I'm frustrated by because I wish I could get it a little bit bigger. We got Random Access Memories by Daft Punk, in which we take a yellow banner, give it a black diamond, make the left side light gray, give it a black bar on the center, a black squiggly border, and then chop it off on the bottom and the top with black. This one's frustrating because there's no good way to have the bottom and the top be a little bigger. Like, this just straight up looks like an elongated caterpillar Daft Punk weird. I don't even know what to call this. Like, you could use that if you want. There's a little bit more of it, but yeah, it's a Minecraft banner. You gotta work with what you got. This one, I do really like how this one came out. Up next, we have, drum roll please, Toxicity by System of a Down. Take a brown banner, give it a white stripe across the middle, give it some orange bricks, and then some brown bricks. Brown bricks and Minecraft. Give it a light gray block on the top, some red spikes on the bottom, and then a brown block on the bottom left corner. Up next, another one that I really like the way that it came out, and that album is Geogaddi by Boards of Canada. Whoa, wait, am I in survival mode? I'm in survival mode. What is going on? This is not how I expected to spend my Tuesday. Yeah. Whew. Okay, ignore my brutal murder. Take a red banner, give it a yellow gradient from the bottom, a yellow globe pattern, a red gradient from the bottom, a yellow circle, and then a red flower symbol. Up next, a pretty frequent request that I'm a little frustrated by because there's a few ways to do this. The more I try to get it accurate, the less recognizable it gets. I think this is a scenario where simpler is better. We have The Money Store by Death Grips. Take a black banner, give it a white stripe on the right, give it a black border, make the entire left side white, and this is where we got options. I think this is ultimately the better one. Just give it a white stripe across the center, like that censor bar where all the text is. There's not a lot of things I can do to specifically the left side without editing the right, so I threw in some black stripes like it's kind of like the line work or something. Then I added a white bar to the center and added a black box to the top left. This one puts things where they are a little better, but it's so messy and muddy that honestly, you could go either way, whichever one you want, but I think I prefer the cleaner one, even if there is like a lack of the figure on the left. Anywho, this is our next one. This is The Sound of Perseverance by Death. Take a red banner, give it a black squiggly border, a red gradient from the bottom, a black triangle on the bottom, a black diamond, a red gradient from the top, and then a black circle. Up next, this one I'm also excited by because we've got two different versions of this album cover, so I made both of them. And this one, if you can't tell already, is F sharp, A sharp infinity by Godspeed, Black Emperor. I'll start with the more popular CD cover, where we take a light gray banner, make the left side black, give it a light gray stripe on the left, make the top half light gray, give it a normal gray gradient from the bottom, and then block it off on the top and the bottom with black. Or if you want the vinyl cover, you also start with a light gray banner, give this a diagonal white stripe, a gray stripe on the left, a gray triangle on the bottom, a red border, and then block it off on the top and the bottom with red. And there we have it. Both are pretty good. You put them together, then it makes it even more obvious what they are. Up next, I really like the way that this one came out. Here we have Post by Bjork. Take an orange banner, give it a blue stripe on the right, magenta stripes, a black thing pattern, a white triangle on the bottom, a black skull pattern, and then a pink circle. This one I really like the way that it came out because the skull pattern allowed me to shape the body part a little more. So now the shoulders look a little more accurate to the real thing. Not something I'm able to do with the other banners that have a figure that use this triangle and circle. So I'm keeping that in mind for myself. Anytime I can use the skull, then I should because those shoulders look clean. Up next, another common request. We're back at it with Metallica, Ride the Lightning. Take a blue banner, give it a white border, a light blue diamond in the middle, two blue triangles from the bottom to cut this stuff off, black stripes on the bottom, and then a black gradient from the bottom. I fussed with this one a while because I wanted to see if I could get some of the lightning into it, but I couldn't do it in any way that looked clean or recognizable as lightning, so if anyone can figure that out, I'd love to sneak some lightning into this one. Up next, this one's been a big request several times now. Here we have Hybrid Theory by Linkin Park, in which you take a white banner, give it a light gray triangle on the bottom, a red stripe down the center, a red creeper face, we cut off the top half with light gray, give it a light gray squiggly border, and then give it black spikes on top. I wanted to work in some gray texturing because of all the stuff going on the cover, but for what it is, this is pretty good. Up next, we have another top request. This one is Currents by Tame Impala. This is one I've previously designed, but I've never been too big of a fan of it. I wish I could incorporate the orange bits a little better, but it is what it is. Take a purple banner, put an orange block in the bottom right, add some magenta stripes, a black gradient on the top, a red diagonal stripe, and a light gray circle. And finally, the grand finale. This is one that all of you should know. We got Minecraft's Volume Alpha by C418. This one is super meta, and I love it. Take a brown banner, give it an orange gradient on top, brown bricks, a lime diagonal stripe, make the right side brown, and then give it a green triangle on top. And that does it for the 20 new banners. I've got 2 updates that I would like to show off. I've been given a suggestion from the comments and from my friend Mike that maybe we could color swap the King Crimson and the Court of the Crimson King banner because the cover isn't entirely red. It's like that's the closest thing to it, but I wanted to see what it looked like with blue and pink. And I think this is a nice color swap. It's basically the exact same thing, but with blue and pink. This one gives me the vibe that it's been left in a windowsill and it's been sun bleached for decades, and I kind of really like that. Next time I build a record store in a Minecraft world, I might just put a sun bleached version of several albums in the window display just because of that. So yeah, I think that's a good alt, you know, depending on which colors you want represented for that cover. And I also got a suggestion to move the gray diamond for Igor up in the layers a little bit, so this way the v-neck of the shirt is conveyed a little more. And I think that's a good update. I mean, depending on the way you're looking at it, if you're not familiar with the actual cover, then this may kind of look like some sort of creature with a big elongated nose or snout. But overall, it's more accurate to the actual cover, and I think if you're looking at it the right way, then it does look a lot better. I like that. That's a good update, a very simple one. In case you're wondering, this is what the updated Minecraft topster looks like. It's getting pretty big. I mean, let's really take this in for a second. Like, this is crazy. This is a Minecraft build. And that'll do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. As always, there will be more. If you have any requests to make, put them in the comments. So yeah, stay tuned for more. Goodbye. Okay, that's terrifying. Take a red banner. This is so... There we go.